Hey everybody, welcome to the QuiverCast.
You go left, I go right. Man, this wave is out of sight. Going surfing, going surfing, going surfing.
All right, everyone, welcome to the QuiverCast. Today we have Hawaiian surfing powerhouse Larry Rios. How are you doing, Larry?
I'm good. How's it, everybody?
Thank you so much for coming on, dude. I'm super stoked. How important is surfing on the Hawaiian culture?
Well, as you know, it was born here, so
Yep.
I believe it's very, very important. Nowadays, you know, we start them young. They just had the TNC Grom Search contest in Waikiki, and there was some young kids surfing.
And ripping, probably.
Yeah, they were ripping. They were like only, I swear, 3-4 years old on the Kokua division. And then the older division, yeah, they were ripping.
Does surfing give it the identity of Hawaii?
That's what I want to get at. You know, we should be like the premier spot for surfing, as you know, with the waves that we have. When I was on turning pro, we had this thing called a HPAC QS going around the Hawaiian Islands, Big Island, Maui, Kauai, and Oahu. So we would have like our own little tour. Whoever would win the ratings would end up in the Triple Crown, you know?
Yeah.
So nowadays we don't have that. We don't have that. Now the kids, they got to go fly off to the mainland and go to the QS in Huntington or, you know, I don't know where they go nowadays. I don't really follow it, but I know there's not too many qualifiers in Hawaii for the kids, you know? That's hurting us because we got so much talent, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And it's expensive. You got to have money to go fly.
Exactly. You got to get the sponsors, of course. I was lucky. I had Quicksilver, WRV, and I had flow hose and Alita wetsuits. Yeah, I was lucky. I was just fortunate. I made the tour on my own using, you know, some of my own money. And then I made it. And then, you know, obviously they paid for it.
You had to establish yourself kind of thing.
Yeah, I had to establish myself. And the way I did that was just when the tour came to Hawaii, they would let me in the trials, the pipe trials, and I would make it every year. Me, Liam, and Johnny Boy would make the top 3 or spots all the time. Was us 3 making the spots with Sean Briley and stuff like that. The real good pipe surfers.
Really good pipe surfers. Really like big wave too, kind of surfers. You guys.
Yeah.
Charging.
Charging. That was nothing. Those guys are like hellmen. Johnny Boy especially, he was, you know, he used to amp me out because he's so much energy and just like, you know, he used to be so amped out. And then, of course, Sonny was ripping. So I made it on tour one time, and then we all traveled together.
Right on. So let's go way backwards then. How did surfing become part of your life?
Well, from my Uncle Mark Lydell.
Oh, okay.
Remember Mark and Buttons?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
That's my mom's brother.
So, I did not know that.
Yeah, so my parents never really watched me. It was my uncle, Mark Lydell, and my auntie, his sister, Philippa, and my other uncle, Tommy, and then my grandma, you know, Mark's mom. They're the ones who really raised me, you know. So I don't know. I would just follow him down the beach with my little old boogie board. Next thing you know, I was standing up on the boogie board, and he was like, "What's going on here? You should rip in the boogie board. You need to get a surfboard." So when he would go to Australia, there was a whole quiver of locomotion boards at home. And he told me every time, don't touch it. And I just grabbed one of his Rothens one time when he was gone, and I rode it, and I was ripping. Thought I was ripping, but
yeah,
I guess I was because I got yellings, I remember, and then he ended up giving me a board.
Okay. Were they a little too big for you at the time too? Probably.
Yeah, that was too big. But my first board was from a garage sale, $15, like a old beat up board my mom bought me. And it was a single fin, I remember. And I don't know who the hell made it, but when Mark seen me riding that, he said, hell no. He gave me one of his boards. Yeah, he laughed at the board. He said, throw that thing away. Don't even bring that thing home. Things might be coming out of it.
Oh, shit. He had a lot of the world's best friends, probably. Surfing. So you were around these people.
I had Larry Berteman picking me up every day. I had marking buttons at my window at 3:30 a.m. to go North Shore when I was like 10 years old.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I was surfing Big Sunset, Small Waimea, and Pipeline. I would have to go out, or else they wouldn't pick me up anymore. So,
but how was town? You lived in town, right?
Yeah. Well, Mark always used to surf Kaisers and bowls.
Okay.
Everybody used to surf Kaisers and bowls, and I was like on the inside. I was like rock pile lefts and Kaisers, and then inside bowls, and then I got hooked to Ala Moana, and I was regular foot on the boogie board.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then when I went on the surfboard, I turned goofy because of bowls.
So you wanted to be facing the wave.
I wanted to get barreled. Yeah, bowls.
Well, that's interesting. Was that hard to learn?
No, it was good. It was easy. I was normal. I still skateboard and snowboard the other way, regular foot.
Do you ever switch foots while you're surfing?
I try.
How does that work out?
Now that I like ride longboards when I teach surfing, it's easy.
That's interesting. That's super fun.
I could stand up all the way and go right and wiggle on a longboard.
Okay. You have these great surfers picking you up. Are they pushing you? Are they making you go out even if you don't want to or you're not comfortable?
Yeah, they would make me go out there and say, "No worry, we got you. We're watching you." But I'll be like, huh? At times I'll be like, I remember Brock and Aaron Napoleon. Okay. I was younger, I think a year or two younger. Brock was crazy. Okay. The guy had no fear. Like maybe 14, 15. He was 15. He was like out at Waimea already, just pulling in, or a big pipe pulling in, or Haliva. I remember one day we went out. I was sitting in the channel and I was watching these 12-foot biggest double up, Brock and Aaron challenging each other. And I was sitting on the side and I seen Aaron eat it and get a 2-wave hold down. And I was like, oh no, I was panicking. Like I couldn't do nothing because I was like so young.
Yeah.
And he came up. I swear his nose and eyes and ears were bleeding.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh. And he came in, he shook it off, and he went back out.
No way.
Aaron Napoleon and Brock, that was I wanted to be like them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and then I was getting in trouble in Oahu because I wouldn't go to school.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad sent me off to Maui live with my mom. So I went to high school in Maui. So
did that take away the North Shore time on Oahu?
It took away some North Shore time, but gave me North Shore time in Maui.
Island. Yeah.
Oh, Honolulu Bay and Peahi. Actually, I surfed Peahi a long time ago with I don't know if you know Billy Kemper's younger brother, Eric Diaz, Justin Robertson.
I've heard of those guys, yeah.
And Todd Sarah. So we all went to Maui High.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, Maui High School. I was from Oahu, and I went to Maui High. So the first day I went to Maui High School, I got in a fight with the Paia boys. That guy was pounding me, and I flipped him over because I was already training jiu-jitsu at that time.
Okay.
And then I started knocking them, and then after that, I got full respect from all of them.
Okay.
So I would go surf Hokipa, and all the boys they would smoke pot and watch us surf.
Yeah.
And after that, they knew I could surf really good, so they became all my friends in Maui High.
My question was to you. You kind of answered it. Was it a hard transition coming off from one island to the next?
Yeah, it was a hard transition. They always used to think like I was arrogant or whatnot, but I was just a good surfer because I came from Oahu. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oahu's really like everybody strives over there. Maui's more kicked back, laid back. You know.
Were you bummed to move back over to Maui, or were you happy at the time?
Actually, I was kind of stoked because that's where when I moved to Maui, I got sponsored by Craig Sugihara, Town and Country.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because they had the shop in Wailuku in Maui. So that was cool.
Were you familiar with surfing Maui before you moved over there?
Nope.
No.
This guy, Honalu DuPont, was my friend. Honalu, he passed away the other year, but he used to pick me up. He's an older guy. Okay. And so he lived in Kaului and I lived in Kaului. He used to pick me up. And he knew my mom and my stepdad because he was a chicken fighter. Okay. And my mom them were big time in chicken fighting. They were heavy gamblers. So Honalu, he wanted to get in with my mom them. So he used to pick me up every day, take me wherever. Wow, that was fun times. Him and Lloyd Ishimini, all the boys from Maui.
When you left Oahu, what did you miss besides the waves? Obviously, was there anything you missed?
No, really. It was a different adventure. It was kind of cool because I would go to the chicken fights too with my mom. Then I would have a big wad of money and I would learn how to gamble and stuff. And I would win a lot of money. In high school, I had a lot of money, man. I was like, and my mom, I didn't have my license. My mom said, okay, you can drive from here to Kahului Harbor and back. That's the only place, or Pakokalo.
Okay.
To go surf. So that's one direct path.
Yes.
So that was 9th and 10th grade. And then I got my license in 12th grade. Yeah, 12th grade.
Can you tell us about the chicken fighting? I've never been to one.
Chicken was heavy. My stepdad's name is Clement Kakwa.
Okay.
He's the last of the Hawaiian Chinese Ing family. So they're really Hawaiian. Mm-hmm. They're big-time Hawaiians from Waianae Valley. He was the last Kakwa, so he was big time. He was like a superintendent of Royal Construction.
Okay.
I don't know if you know Kapalua, where they built all by Honolulu Bay, all that.
Yes, I know. I've been there, but I've seen it. Yeah.
My stepdad was like in charge of that.
Oh, okay.
So he was so cool to me. He would pack me corned beef, rice, and he would take me to his work at least one day a week, Honolulu Bay, and let me surf all day while they work. He was the coolest. He said, as long as you keep your grades a B average, you can get one day a week at Honolulu. That's why I ended up winning the contest at Honolulu. I won 2 out of the 3.
Wow.
Rusty Pros. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you've been practicing so much surfing there.
I was laughing.
It can go flat though too. So was there days you went there and there was no waves?
There was days where it's real small.
Yeah.
Like we'd surf on the inside, but the water is something about that water over there at Honolulu is so pure and it gives good vibes, good energy. Or it would be onshore, so we'd drive down to Windmills. So if it's onshore at Honolulu, it's offshore at Windmills.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and this left is like easy pipeline.
Yeah,
not pipeline, but easy pipeline. Just take off, set up. mean barrel.
You were having a ball, and you knew a lot of people on North Shore, and you knew all people on Oahu. And then you go to Maui, you're making all these friends, or did you?
That's how I met Jerry. I met Jerry Lopez. I was hitchhiking to Honolulu. Mm-hmm. And then guess who picks me up? Jerry Lopez.
Okay, how was the first meeting with him?
Was killer. I was like, oh, he knows my Uncle Mark. That's why.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he knew my Uncle Mark good. Yeah, I was like Uncle Mark's nephew. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm Uncle Mark's nephew. So that's how I got in Hui. That's how I got from when I was young with Eddie too. You know, I got baptized young. And that was a whole other world. Hey, but I gotta say, man, people look at the Hui like it's like they think it's a bad thing because of that dumb movie, but they mean well. They help the people, you know, and they protect the children from drugs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like really, that's how the law should be. We should be the law, not the law be the law, because they don't do shit. You know, we do shit. We send them home with nothing because they come over here, they try to sell to our kids and get our kids all corrupted. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So we should do a lot of things, like a lot of things that were good.
Community, good for the community.
It's bad. People would say it's bad, but it's not bad. It's good because we would help a lot of families from going through heartaches. Yeah.
Okay.
Because, you know, but hey, whatever. The thing turned around for the better. Look, the Hui backdoor shootout every year.
Huge.
Prize money. Look at the prize money.
And it's probably one of the most viewed surf contests because it's ran different than a traditional.
Respected.
Yeah, much respected.
Hawaiian way. And it got all the divisions, you know?
Yes. I appreciate that contest because it's so different.
Unreal.
Yeah. I do.
It's all about barrels and big balls.
Heavy waves.
Like the Eddie, yeah.
The Eddie's gnarly. Like everything in Hawaii seems to be. I know they have contests in town, but even that can get heavy. Ala Moana gets heavy, right?
Oh, Ala Moana is unreal. People don't know. You guys like pipe. I mean, I've got some amazing waves over there, and I still to this day get amazing waves.
You do.
When I paddle out, nobody goes. If I'm going, they respect me. I earned it.
100%. How important is having respect in Hawaii for you personally?
Respect is number one. That's what people don't understand when they come here.
Mm-hmm.
You got to realize about that. How they uphold themselves, how they act in front of people,
yes,
how they cross the street, how they go to the market. Everything is about respect. Like if you're going to cut off a grandma in the parking lot, when the auntie was there and lives there all her life,
mm-hmm,
pull up and you try and cut her off for a stall. We're not like that over here. We just cruise them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We ease our way around. And in the water, like the other day I was teaching and I kind of told this guy, hey, can you go to the side a little bit? Because you're right in the path where I'm pushing my students.
Yes.
And he kind of looked at me and ignored me. And I'm like, okay. I told my students, you see that guy? That's 10 points. You see him? That's 10 and 20 points. Okay? Okay. And then I told him, no, I'm just joking. And I told him to move again. And he looked at me, why? I don't see nothing, no waves coming this way. And then here comes the wave. So I push my students. And then he's like, gets all mad because my students almost hit him and starts calling me names and stuff. And I'm like, I got to hold my composure, right? My students.
100%. Yeah,
they didn't hold their composure, but the father and son, they said, that guy's an asshole.
But truly, they're the asshole.
And I told him, brother, don't go there. Just shut your mouth. You'll be okay because I'm the wrong mother. You know?
Yes, 100%.
You mess with, I'm telling you. I ain't scared about Jay. I ain't scared about, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I love that. And
I was like, just go in. And my other friend, Lauren, that used to work for my school, went over there. And LB, I got it. I'll defuse the situation. And I said, please, because my blood pressure is already going. And I'm going to paddle over there. I'm going to hold him under, wait till he comes up, and then poof, and then hold him under again and wait till he comes up. Boop.
So when surfers come off the plane, I think most guys that are going there, like the surfer contest, understand where they are and the culture they're kind of coming into.
Some do, and some get a little bit comfortable. You know what I mean?
Like, I can see that. I can see that.
Coming for years, and they start getting comfortable which is okay and everything, but still, yeah, there's gonna be that one local that is not into it. So you just gotta be cool, I guess. Just be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else. Be yourself.
That's good.
Be really, down to earth, and just speak with good intentions.
I like that.
Don't be fake.
Okay.
Because we're gonna see right through it.
But you in Hawaii, especially where you live in, you do have a whole bunch of a-holes from around the world coming in to visit.
Oh my God. And believe me, they try and run the Hawaiians out of our own land.
100%. I
try
agree
and
with you.
gate up the place where we can't walk or where we can't go. But they got to remember, all of us Hawaiians is not the same. Some obey the law, some, the law.
Right.
And there's a lot of us like that. We are the law. When we look
as
at
it kind of should be, I think, personally.
Well, like the other day, it was like the cops are all over there. I told him, if I see this guy, get it. And he said, no, don't do that. And I said, I'll try, but I'm not promising anything, officer.
Have things changed over the last few decades? Let's say when you were a young man.
Things have changed a lot.
Good or bad?
A lot of buildings that's being built and buildings that are there and not even used, and stores that are so rich that nobody even shops in them. Who's gonna buy that stuff?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so many high-end places that the little gangs over here, they don't give a shit now. They're just running in, taking everything and running out and making them chase them.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's
crazy.
It's heavy.
They're watching how the mainland does it, and they're doing it over here.
Yeah, they're looking at LA and seeing what's going on.
Smash and grab, yeah. And then
it's scary for me.
Run their own way. Like, whoa, who are you gonna chase? They're crazy, bro.
With a lot of these young surfers, as you said, you got a huge grom people.
Yeah,
surfers.
I coach, as you know, I coach and teach.
Yes.
So, I have a Reef, I have a Lockley, I have Dominique from the North Shore and his sister. I have 4 10-year-olds that are just
10. Wow.
They're like above their bracket.
Okay.
Going upside down, trying to pop air 360s, and they're getting better and stronger because they're getting discipline from me and strengthened oxygen wise. I make them pull me from spot to spot.
Yeah. Do you see that there is another path in surfing, like back in your early days, where you could be a magazine guy and not necessarily surf contests? Or do you feel like the young guys have to surf contest?
Yeah, I told them that you don't have to necessarily be a contest surfer. You can just go on trips and do your photo thing and live off being a photo slut,
Yeah.
Or a movie slut. Just go and enjoy yourself and get barreled.
It's harder with less magazines now, but you have Instagram or I don't know, whatever else, TikTok or whatever.
Yeah, they blow up on Instagram or whatever, Snapchat or whatever they.
Exactly.
Oh, Facebook is always there, but
that's kind of dying.
Yeah, Instagram's shit right now. I don't even advertise or Yelp and stuff like that. I don't even advertise for my surf school.
Really? Okay.
It's word of mouth. I don't have no website or nothing. I just have only social media.
Wow. Okay. That's good. And it's free or cheap.
I don't have no overhead or nothing like that. I just have
the boards and
tax insurance and stuff like that. But
okay.
Mainly, I don't have an outlet. I'm trying to get. I just use Moku. Moku's my sponsor by any means, and you guys come to Waikiki.
Okay.
Go check out Moku. Check out the rentals over there. That's where I have all my students meet me, and they leave all their stuff there, and they rent the boards after from there.
Okay, cool. So
it works out for me and Brian Daniels.
Yes. So let's talk about tourism and teaching people to surf. So tourism, you love it. You enjoy meeting people from around the world?
I just love teaching. I just love teaching the right way and seeing like Nowadays, it's so lame because I had to put up umbrellas and chairs for like a whole year before I could get my license to teach. Uncle Clyde, I called, made me do that. He said, I don't carry a pro surfer. You got to dig some umbrellas, boy. You better get to it.
Okay.
You want to get your license. I would do that. Then the first South Show, I would go out there and just go off. And they would be like, oh, who's that? You know what I mean? Then eventually, Uncle Rabbit, Kikai, and Jama, Dabrada, and Blue McCool, and all the original Beach Boys.
Yes.
They noticed me, and then Tony Moniz were already established, and Hansi the Men was already established. I was the third school after them.
Okay.
So I came out after that. I've been teaching 30 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a hard job.
There a while.
Yeah. It's a hard job being in the sun all day, being in all kinds of weather.
But it's beautiful, man.
It might be rewarding.
Yeah, it's rewarding. I love being in the water. That's my office. I cannot stay out of the water, bro. It's like when I tried to get a regular job, like if I'm not working for the movies, I try work another job, I'll only get into trouble. I'm only end up back in the criminal action and, living the fast lane. And that was no good. So the water soothes me, keeps me grounded, keeps me sane. And it's just my soul. My soul is at ease. Huh?
Okay, that's rad. That's awesome. What about the younger kids coming up in the community? How many are surfing? Or do you think that can help with the young kids coming in your neighborhood, the locals?
Well, from Waikiki, they all come from Waikiki.
Okay,
like the longboard champion, the women's and the men's. There's a couple good longboard kids that are coming out. They're good. They ride. A couple of them ride my uncle's boards, and they're up there. They're like top 3 in the world. Of course, Kai Salas, he's been surfing longboard for years, and he finally became a champion.
Yeah.
It's like Jordy Smith on the regular tour.
Okay.
I hope Jordy wins the world title this year.
I do too.
He's been on there so long, and he's just stuck with it. He's a cool dude, and he's a big dude like me. He's tall.
Yeah. How tall are you?
6'2", like him.
Oh shoot. Okay.
We're about the same height. We ride probably the same thickness, everything.
Okay, let's talk about boards real quick. How have the boards changed for you over the years?
Of course, they got fucking thicker.
Okay.
I got bigger.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't run 7 miles anymore. Before, when I was on tour, I used to, go a little running and biking and stuff, and do a little weight training, do some jiu-jitsu, of course.
Without a coach too, right? You're your own coach?
See, the thing is, nowadays, everybody got it good, man. I made my own contracts. I did my own thing. Yeah, which helped me when I got, started surf school and stuff, because I know business more oriented. Mark was always like that, and my uncle, and I watched him because he had his shaping business throughout the years, and he still shapes. Unreal. He's just getting older,
Well, we all are. That's for sure.
Yeah. I remember Derek. I used to hang with, Derek and Michael Ho and stuff like that. And I seen Mason grow up, I'm so stoked for Mason. He's one of the guys that don't need a surf contest.
Does not need to at all. He's more famous every year.
Jamie O'Brien,
Jamie, he does his thing.
Run around with their helmets on before. And I knew there was going to be, and John, and look at them now.
Yeah.
And what I love about them is their respect. They still call me uncle, and they still respect me, and they still talk to me. You know what I mean? They're not all high maka, and because I'm the one who made Derek the world champ. You know what I mean?
Okay. Do you want to talk about
Derek
that heat?
Or won the title?
Yeah.
I came from the trials 10 rounds.
Wow.
They won 2 speeding tickets 10 rounds later. And Gary Alcatel tells everybody, oh, he snaked me. those guys missed the wave, and I turned around. I was inside of them.
Yes.
They missed the wave. I turned around, got the score. See ya.
And advance to the final, right?
Well, when I dropped in a tube, I heard the whole beach scream while I was in the tube.
How rad was that?
I just had my hair rising like, oh, I'm making this no matter what. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I made it, and I got the score right. I still get chicken skin to this day.
And you still remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah, we made the final all together. So Derek has to win the final in order to become the champ.
Right.
So me, Slater, and Jeff Booth are going to paddle out in Derek. Mm-hmm. I look at them. Don't you fucking dare paddle past me. None of them. And they knew their role. They knew what's up. Never have no priority, this, that.
Yes.
I will run you right over. But anyway, we just all surfed in the final. And Derek, he won it outright. I gave him a couple sick waves, but that my uncle always tells me, you shouldn't have did that. But listen, look at to this day what happened and how it evolved with him passing and everything. Yeah. Just insane. So sad,
Super sad. But he was in the history books, the first Hawaiian world champ, right?
Exactly. That's why I was a part of that. And I don't need to say anything. Right. On the other podcast, Jamie Dem's podcast, they did it. Liam and everybody, and Liam, Mason, Jamie, they recognized me for that. Of course. And then I was like, right on, you guys, That's
awesome.
Because I don't need to say anything. I don't need to talk about it. I know what I did, and they know what I did. Uncle Derek knows what I did, and Uncle Mike was my idol from day one. Mike.
Everyone's idol, really.
When I made the final with him at the XL Pro, I got second. He got first.
Okay.
Oh, we were having so much fun, bro. We was getting barreled. So I got a 10-point ride in the semis, backside.
Okay.
Inside. Dane was in it, Richard Schmidt, me, and Michael Ho, the final.
In today's world of surf contests versus, let's say, the 90s or late 80s, early 90s, the Hawaiians seem to stick together as a group. And maybe the Australians did.
Yeah.
Is that gone today? Is everyone one-man show?
Because there's not enough Hawaiians on there,
Yeah.
It's like, I don't blame Eli them for hanging with, the mainland crew because of sponsors and this and that, and you're going to stay over there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, my friends was Shane Beshin,
Yeah.
Me, Derek, we had Sonny. Sonny was ripping. John Shimoka.
Yeah.
And, a couple other guys too from Ross Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We had more Hawaiians that was on tour compared to nowadays is because of what I said.
Yes.
The contests.
Yeah. I don't know how they're going to fix that.
We need to get more QS contests during the off season over here instead of Brazil, instead of California. We could have a major one at Bowls. We could have a major one in Waikiki at Queens.
There's too many good waves, really. There's ample opportunity, but without even having, they had Sunset like last year or the year before. Like Sunset's, the Triple Crown's missing. People want to watch the Triple Crown. We want to see huge Haleiwa.
That's the one they came for. Nowadays, it's different.
It's dead. It doesn't exist.
It's different.
Any surf fan anywhere in the world wants to see Hawaii. Big Hawaii.
They want to see it end in Hawaii. Like this year, they had to do it.
So, then the following year, they're going to do it. It's going to end at
next year.
Yeah, after this tour is over.
What is it? Where is it ending this year?
It's going to end at Cloudbreak, I think. And Fuji.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, but it's not Hawaii. You know what I mean?
And I think in the 80s, they tried to end it in Australia, right? And then they brought it back because they knew it worked in Hawaii.
Triple Crown. Haleiwa Sunset Pipeline.
So let's talk about that, though, real quick. In my opinion, shouldn't there be a bigger amount of Hawaiians in the Triple Crown if they brought it? Let's say they brought it back. There should be like wild cards and or a trials. Maybe do a trials for the Hawaiians. Yeah. Hawaiians locals only.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
They gotta have a trials for each contest. They should have a trials.
I do miss trials.
Not only pipe, and then they get in the other ones. You know what I mean?
Well, pipe's closed unless you're in the CT.
So, see, it's not closed because they have the trials for pipe.
Oh, they do have the.
They should have. The other ones are open. But how is the Hawaiians going to get in when they don't have points?
Right.
You understand?
Unless you're a wild card.
There's no QS in between for them to enter and stay home and just rip. At their home break, of course, they're going to be in there. And the QSs we had were only 1 stars, maybe 3. And then, so the Pipe Pro I won was 3-star only or something. I won the Pipe Pro. And you know who was in the final?
Who?
Me, Mike Ho, Derek Ho, Sonny Garcia.
Wow.
Yeah.
Powerful guys.
and I won that final.
That's sweet. Were you always trying to be a pro surfer? Let's say when you were in high school in Maui, when you were 11-year-old going to North Shore. Was that your goal?
Yeah, of course it was. And I seen my uncle surfing the Pipe Masters. Oh, one time it was so big. I don't know if you remember that year, but it was huge with the one Larry Birdman's bottom turning and the lip is throwing like from here to the other side of the acre. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not throwing like this. It's throwing like this.
Like
straight out and then down. And if you got hit by that lip, like my uncle did when he hit the bottom so hard, he got injured and his board came up. It was in 3 pieces, the Rawson. 3 pieces.
Yeah, well, at least he survived. I mean, that wave does kill people. Oh,
yeah, that's the year Beaver Massafella or whatever. He died that year, and then a couple other guys were dying every year. Every year. There was somebody who was,
Yeah. What about the crowds at Pipe or Ala Moana?
Ridiculous. Okay, last year I went surf Pipe. This year I surfed it about 2 times. It was pretty good. Nobody around. I just snuck out.
Mm-hmm.
But last year, I go out there and fucking, what's her name was yelling at me off the wave. Kiala something, Kenny or something.
Oh, yeah, I know that girl. Yeah, I know who she is.
Yelling at the wrong person, girl. Because I'm going anyway.
Okay.
I look at everybody like, really? And then I look at Strider like, really? Oh, you guys too? Okay, see ya. I just was dropping in left and right. I was like, you guys got to know who's going. Okay, if I'm going, don't even paddle.
That's a good point. Should the young people, especially paddling out at a certain break like Pipeline or even Ala Moana or anything, shouldn't they?
They better know.
They should know the history of surfing and who these people are.
Who you are. Because if they don't,
exactly,
they're gonna get sent home.
That's how it should be.
All the way home, not just home where they're staying in North Shore.
Right.
They're going to the airport and then they're going home.
As it should be, I think.
That's how we do
I mean,
it.
I feel like we could, me being a mainlander, I could mess up one time, but learn my lesson.
Yeah, we give it a few takes or 2. And, a lot of them, they've been staying here long enough to where they got their own Hawaiian backup. But that don't mean shit, yeah.
No.
You know what I mean? Because our backup is me, Makua, and Eddie.
So back in the 70s, 80s, even the 90s, it was kind of the Wild West. No one
radical, bro.
No one called the cops.
Was radical, bro. Guys would be missing and shit. I would be like flipping out on shit. And then they would be telling me stories. I'll be like, I don't want to hear it. Okay. I'm like, no. Walk away. Or Marvin would tell me, oh, hey boy, get in the car. Huh? Get in the car. Where are we going? Why? What did I say? I don't ask questions. You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay, uncle.
Okay.
Get in the car. And, we go places. Wait here. Wait, where? Behind the wheel. Wait here. I'll be like, okay, uncle. They don't even ask questions, bro.
Okay.
Don't ask no nothing. Just do what they say. and you'd be all right. Mickey Nelson, fucking crazy, bro. Those guys is crazy. They think you're crazy nowadays. These guys, the uncles, is way more crazy. They're nuts.
You guys had personality. You guys each had your own story. It seems like kind of everyone's cookie cutter these days.
Yeah,
especially even in Hawaii, everywhere around the world.
Barry Mamiya's dad, Barry.
Yeah.
Mamiya.
Okay.
We all had some good time. Me, him, and Derek. We'd be up Derek's house all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, we'd be fucking laughing, fucking cracking up, or drinking Heineken and just kicking back. Next thing you know, we're looking at the waves. Oh my God, it's going off. These guys are fucking. I'll be like, fuck, I ain't paddling out. I just drank 3 Heineken. These guys don't care, bro. They smoke fucking, and then they go, and I'll be like, fuck, you guys are nuts, bro. It's like, who can handle the most drugs and surf the best?
That's right. Did that ever get you guys in sticky situations where it's like, oh shit, we're a little too buzzed?
Hell yeah. They set me up one time. I thought we were smoking a regular joint. The next thing you know, fucking, I'm over there all quiet. I'm like, what the fuck was in this? They're over there in the corner laughing at me. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys laughing at?
Oh, that's too funny.
Then they told me after I paddled out the pipe, it was like 10, 12 feet. I was like wigging.
What's your favorite wave in Hawaii?
Ala Moana pipe, Honolulu.
Honolulu, of course, yeah.
Yeah, and I like Waikiki. I like Queens. I like when it's big and it's outside Kunas. You ride them all the way in, and it's so fun. It's just a playground over there. It reminds me of Australia. Fuck, I just dig Waikiki, man. I love it over there. It's like, that's where the Duke was and everybody was over there, you know?
The history.
They all came from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the history. And then if you think about it, it's got a lot of history on there.
A lot. I mean,
Michael Ho's dad was there. You know, he was original Beach Boy.
Wow. Okay. I did not know that.
I see pictures of them laying net. And to this day, my friend would lay net.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
Bro, plenty fish still get Waikiki.
Mm.
Came in, at least 4 families worth of fish can feed. People don't know.
No, a lot of this is getting lost in history.
Yeah,
unfortunately. But some of it's getting saved
because they modernize everything.
Yeah.
But us, we still keep them Hawaiian.
Okay, good. What about like family and passing down
a
lot of the history?
Yeah.
How important is that?
That's very important. My daughter, I can say, you know, my kids have more Hawaiian than me. As you know, my kids, my ex is Aikawa from the Aikau family. Yeah,
I did not know that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so my kids are half Aikau, half Rios. They got more Hawaiian than me. My daughter speaks fluent Hawaiian. She went to the Kamehameha schools to graduate. And then I have identical twins, Micah and Isaiah.
Wow.
They all gave me kids at the same time last year. So
they were on the phone
like this. No! Yep.
So how many grandkids you have?
So I have 3. They're like,
wow.
One is 1 year, one is 8 months, and one is 6 months.
Okay.
Like, they're really close in age.
Yeah, they all grew up together.
Oh, that's they're cool. Gonna be like brother and sister.
Yeah.
My kids are really close. Like, you know, my daughter and my twins, because Candace, you know, my ex, she was great mom, you know, couldn't ask for a better mom. We're not together, but she's always here. She just left. They just took her home.
That's rad.
Yeah. We're still the mommy and the grandma and the papa. No. And the mommy and the daddy, we're always going to be. I couldn't ask for a better mom.
That's awesome. Do you think Hawaii's ever going to go backwards? Kind of back to how it used to be in the 70s or 80s, 60s even, where the culture's going to be more Hawaiian?
I see a lot of kids now trying to be more Hawaiian. Like, they're trying to go fish and go dive, go hunt. They're trying to bring back the old ways. I see the lifeguards, they always go troll. They're always going fishing with paddle board and put the pole behind and fishing in Waikiki.
Becoming water people.
Yeah. Brian, them, they always go fishing. Rusty, Kealana, you know the Kealanas,
yes.
I'm close with them. I love them all. That's Uncle Buff. They brought him in the water. You know, he's getting old, but he's real solid. They brought him in the water the other day. It was so cool. I seen it on live Instagram.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I love Rusty and Brian. Brian Kialana, as you know, is an awesome waterman and works the movies. And so I'm in the movie union too, also, right?
Okay. Yeah, I was going to talk about that. Go ahead.
Throughout the years, Uncle Brian has hired me as, water unit. I never did get my license and everything, but that he wanted me to get. But I worked on the last show, Rescue High Surf.
Yes. Yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
But I was the water prop master. They made a position for me.
That's awesome.
So I work full time. I got a full-time spot on that from this guy, Hector. They're all working in LA now, but I got to do that for the first time I did props ever. I usually do set lighting and electric rigging and work some grips sometimes. But in the movies, you got to work all the way, all kind.
A lot of hours and then no hours kind of thing too, right? You work a lot and then you don't work.
Then you don't work. Now the tax. So our government, our politicians, as you say over here.
Yeah.
Something got to give. Like they got to start, thinking like Trump, poo for the people. Or poo for himself. But they got to poo for the people more, for the Hawaiians. They got to bring things back to where they got to settle the homeless and they got to bring it affordable. They got to make things affordable. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And they got to stop letting the rich.
Yes.
They stole our land and sold our land. They're still doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're pushing you guys out. And it's ridiculous. Yeah,
fuck that. He's going to push us out because we're all going to hold it together. And fucking.
Well, I mean, I'm agreeing with you. I don't know how to fix it, but something has to go.
You got to stick together. You know how the Filipinos and all those Japanese and all those other guys, you can learn from them. So you stick together and you get one place, one big land, put your little trips all together,
Yeah.
We them all, put them together and rent a little piece over here and pay for everything else. You got to be smart, but we're still trying, man. I mean, it's expensive over here,
super expensive.
I ain't moving anywhere. I better be fucking homeless, live right on the beach in my car, then leave. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm never going to leave here.
That's your home.
It's my home. I traveled all over the world and it's nothing like home. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. You came back for a reason because that's where you live it.
Yeah. I used to stay in Topanga. I remember at Bob Ellis's house and fly out of LAX all the time to go places.
Really quick though, I do want to ask you this. Let's go backwards again. When you were traveling, doing the tour with Derrico and all these guys you were staying with, were you guys having so much fun, or did it ever become a job like surfing?
It was a job.
It was a job.
It was like he didn't want to go travel all the way over there and fucking lose first round. You know what I mean?
Putting a wetsuit on.
It's ridiculous. I hate wetsuits. Hey, I can barely get them out of my long sleeve spring suit now.
Okay.
The way they make it the pull over, the sleeve, and then the zipper. It's like, you feel like a straight jacket, right?
Yeah.
And I give these guys credit, bro. I give the guys that surf Mavericks and all the cold water like that, like Peter Mel and the boys was on tour with us too. Peter Mel, Adam Rapogo, Chris Gallagher, Rat Boy.
You were friends with them, obviously. It sounds like.
Yeah. Anthony Rufo.
Let's say a lot of these Santa Cruz guys, when they showed up in Hawaii, how was it for them for the transition wise? Did they do well? Do you feel?
They was truly like Peter Davy and all them. They were cool.
Okay.
Those guys from Northern Cal. I'm not going to say they're better than the other guys, but one thing they had going for them was they bought the crib with them.
And that's the way to make friends.
They knew how to get into the Hawaiians' hearts. You know what I mean? They'll just bring the best marijuana you ever seen or ever touched or ever smoked, because they were scientifically, involved into the what they call it. What is that red triangle thing? where they come from.
Yeah, the sharks, the red triangle, the sharks are, and the weed.
Yeah.
And let's talk about your surf school. So if anybody wants to, I mean, I'd probably people that listen to this podcast probably surf regularly, but maybe their family wants to come to LB, the surf
they
school.
Always find me, like they read the reviews or they go to Yelp or Reddit and they read the reviews and they end up on Instagram.
There you go.
They end up but I am on Yelp, the business app, and then I am on Instagram.
Yeah.
And
I'll share that.
You can buff my number out to everybody if you want.
I will, for sure.
That surf school number is my number.
That's the surf school they should be going to if they need to go to surf school.
808-364-0391. Call me, LB Surf School.
Real quick, you told me yesterday why it's LB Surf School.
It's because my father passed away this year. He named me, I'm Larry. He's Larry Sr., I'm Larry Jr.
Yeah.
So always just yell at me, Larry boy, go do that. Or mom would be, Larry boy, get over here. And my grandma would be, Larry boy. And, mainly it's a family. It's from my family.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, me that. And so when I had my school, I opened it up and I seen Larry Birdman at the beach. He goes, what is this, LB? And I go, I'm your nephew. Be quiet. And I'm the only guy who could possibly pull that off.
Oh, shit, I bet. Yeah.
Larry Birdman, he was the turning point of surfing,
Did you have an idol, a local? I mean, you had your uncle, Mark Lydell. You had...
These guys was my uncle, Michael Hall, and Larry Birdman. Dane Killaw.
Dane, for sure.
Those guys was like the guys that were near my age, the same age as me, my idol, or almost, was Akalupo and Brocklito.
Okay, there you go.
And Ronnie Burns and Marvin, of course. Marvin was my idol, and Ronnie.
I bet you there's lots of good Marvin Foster stories out there.
You don't even want to know.
It's probably for off the air.
I'll tell you later. But that's my uncle. He's the one they got me on Quicksilver,
Oh, really? Okay, cool. Yeah.
I made them proud when I got on Quicksilver, I made so many finals. I made the Wyland final, Auto Time, Haleiwa.
Yeah.
When Wyland Galleries was
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. I made Pipe, the Kimsey.
Yeah. No, you did well. I mean, what you've accomplished, most humans would love to.
2 years in a row. I won Honolulu, Queens, Ala Moana. That was the funnest times when we used to have that tour where we go to Kauai. We go to Big Island, Honolulu. Then we come over here for 3 more or 4 more contests. That was like a little mini tour for us.
Right.
And that's when the people we used to push each other. Like Tony Moniz was like up there shutting everybody down. He was like majorly hungry, who was like the most hungriest, I think, besides Derek and Mike. But to me, I was scared of Tony. Tony taught me a lot, bro.
I bet. Yeah. Okay, I've had him on the show. I've had Tony on the show.
Okay. So we was in the final on the little one. Me and him, man on man. It was 2-2. We best out of 5.
Yeah, I remember those times.
The last one, we're doing it at Hokipa because it was smaller.
Okay.
So we're at Pavilions, bro. 5th round. This is it. This is for the win.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. To get out there, I'm not even paying attention. Fucking paddles right over there. Right over me. Move. Fucking, whoa, what the fuck is happening? Triangle.
Oh, shit. Interference.
Oh, my God. I'm losing now. What I got to do to be even?
Yeah.
I got to give him one triangle. I was shitting. I didn't want to paddle over Tony, bro. It's like, I got to do it. You know what I mean? So I paddled over him. He looks at me and I thought he was going to punch me. He goes, good one, bro. Good one. We're even. Wave for wave.
Okay.
So I think I got an 8 something.
Wow.
Like 6 or 7 something. And then I won in front of my stepdad. And That was cool. And Tony came up to me and said, "That's how, boy."
There you go. How.
And then from there on, everybody was easy to beat. Like Damian Hartman, Tom Curran, Tom Carroll. They were all easy. I could beat them in my own backyard.
Yeah.
Beat them easy, the world champs. One time, the Billabong, the one Barton won.
Yes.
We were competing at Ilkai and Damian Hardman on another set, best out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
And 2-2, and then the last set. I don't know. Some Australian judge gave him just enough to, and then Damien's father came up to me when I came in. He said, "You know what? You blew my son out there."
Oh, there you go.
I was just like, right on, thank you. But I lost, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But at least he gave you that respect. Like, he knew.
Yeah.
He knew.
And coming from the dad, saying that,
that's hard for a dad to say that.
Oh, happy. I told my friend Dwayne that passed away. Where's Heineken? Straight to the Heineken.
Yeah.
First house right by Ilkai. We're staying right there next to Jack Johnson.
Okay.
Fuck. Yeah, those were the days. Man.
You got stories forever.
If I write I would like, if I did like a movie, bro, we'd fucking it would be
I bet you it'd be great.
It would be so good. It was so good, man.
Oh, you got to make that happen.
We have Donor and Derek and, all the Kealohas and Eddie. And
there's got to be lots and lots of stories.
Uncle, Kavika Stan and fucking Squiddy and all the main Hui guys.
Yeah. That story should be told. The Hui story.
The real story.
The real story should be told.
But they really do good, bro. To this day, bro, that community loves them. And then Eddie,
Yeah.
Who can hate him for getting smart and start investing in, he owns fucking half of the North Shore, you know what I mean? No, it's like, fuck.
Businessman.
The real
good for him.
Pablo Escobar, what the fuck?
There you go.
But good one,
Yeah, for sure. Well, Larry Rios, thank you so much for coming on the QuiverCast. I loved your stories.
I will be back. Okay.
Yeah, let's do a part 2.
A lot to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
If LB, anybody want to learn how to surf, please look me up. Look me up, man.
For sure.
I love teaching. I take pride in my teaching. My prices are different, of course, but being from where I come from, I teach with aloha, and I give you the mana.
Yeah.
Give you my energy, and you surf.
There you go.
And packages all comes with videos.
Nice.
Full videos with me alongside you, because I make you so good you can just surf next to me.
I love that. That's great.
Not like, get out there. And another thing is, if you don't know how to surf, please don't try to teach surfing. Okay? That's what I want to get.
Rule 1.
Half the guys in Waikiki, they can barely stand on their board and they're over there surfing lessons.
Stupid.
You like one surfing lesson?
That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
There you go. How are you going to drive NASCAR if you never drove a NASCAR?
Right.
How are you going to teach it?
They need to go to Larry. LB Surf School.
There's a handful of us. There's the Monizes.
Of course.
Anji them in, of course. My Uncle Mark is teaching.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Go to the locals, the local pros.
There's only a handful of us that are professional surfers.
Right.
That teach. Johnny Boy.
He's teaching also?
And then now we got, we got the North Shore, some kids in the North Shore, like Yala. He surfs pipe. He's really good. He's a professional. Grew up at Liam's. Shaden.
Yeah.
He's for Hurley. He's a professional. He has his own little thing. Jamie O'Brien, of course.
Jamie's doing pretty well for himself, I think.
Oh,
he's killing it.
He's killing it.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to get on their podcast too.
Yeah. They need to get on that.
Mason, I love those kids. I cannot wait. I would love us. In fact, I'm going to freaking, But hey, man.
Well, I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you to everybody out there. Whoever listens to this, it's all about the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth.
I love it.
Anybody wants to learn, look me up. And when you come to Hawaii, remember, call your elders auntie and uncle.
There you go. Show respect.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Just be yourself.
There you go. All right, everyone. This is Mike and Larry Rios, and we're out of here. Later. Thank you, Larry.
I go right. Man, this wave is out of sight. Going surfing. Going surfing. Going surfing with friends. Ride this wave to the shore. Paddle out, I'm gonna catch 10 more. Going surfing. Going surfing. Going surfing with friends. I don't care if it's wrong or right. I'm gonna do it all day, I'm gonna do it all night. I'm going surfing. Going surfing. Going surfing with friends. On my way, it's a beautiful day. I'm going surfing. I'm going surfing. Going surfing with friends.